Yo, what is up guys? It is Samool here back with another Epic 7 video for you guys today. And before I get into the video, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys aren't already subscribed and you like my content, make sure you subscribe for updates on when I release new videos. And I also hope that you guys had a wonderful holidays and a great hunt event. Now before I get started with today's topic, I'm actually going to do the summon event because, as you guys probably know, if you guys logged in already, there is a 10 summon event for free. And also, if you guys were keeping up with the check-in, you guys would also get the 5-star hero summon for free as well. I think in the mail you should be getting a 5-star hero summon ticket. It's random, but hopefully you get something good. Now this is a 4-star. Okay, we're gonna skip it. Hell Cutter, not bad, but not really expecting much here because honestly, every time this event runs around, I don't really get anything. I think in the 2 years I've played, 1.5 years I'd say, I probably got like 2 5-star units that are worth for me, like units that I didn't have already. So yeah, that's my summon. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Now let's check this 5-star summon hero. What do I get? Araminta, yes. I already have her obviously because there's no text box, and she is pretty bad, so nothing good. But yeah, getting started, we're gonna talk about the units that are going to be coming up in future banners. Now I know that Violet is coming out in a few days, and so is Laika, and I'm going to be releasing a video separately on those two, whether you guys should pull or not. But I'm going to be talking about 2 limited units that always run during the winter. One of them is overdue, being DN, and the other one runs around early February, late January sometimes, maybe even like early March. It really depends when Smilegate wants to release them. And her name is Cerise. Now both of these units are expected to release very soon. It's really up to Smilegate when to release them. And they're both limited units, and they're both very good in PvE and PvP, so you don't want to miss out on them. I'm going to talk about them more in depth, so let's get started with Cerise. So this is Cerise. She is an Ice Ranger. She is expected to come out a little bit later than DN, but honestly they might run them together. I think that's what they did last year at the end of February, I believe. But Cerise is a OP unit. That's all I can really say. She's extremely strong in PvP. You can basically not first pick her, but pick her very early and blindly in RTA or World Arena, and she's very strong. She's good in Guild Wars defense teams. She's good in Arena defense teams if you run a super fast Cerise. She's also good in offense teams, and she's good in cleave. So she's not really bad anywhere in PvP, and in PvE she's also very good. You use her in the new Light Expedition. She's like almost required there. You can also use her in Dark Expedition. She's very, very strong. You can use her in Abyss as like a CR push and turn cycler. She's just very, very strong. You can even use her in some one-shot hunt teams. But basically what her skills does is her S3. If you guys fought her, you guys probably know it's very annoying. She basically will strip buffs by 1 turn. So yeah, if you have 3 buffs that have 1 turn left, they all get stripped. And she also will decrease speed and restrict, so she counters General Purges, right? And she also gets invincibility, which makes her very, very annoying and tanky. And this always attacks with an advantageous element, so you can't really dodge if you're Earth. So yeah, and her S2 is going to be a stun. This is also very annoying as well because it makes you unbuffable, and will push her CR up. And her S1 is that really annoying CR push on herself that also does a dual attack when her S2 is off cooldown. So very, very powerful unit. Like, she's like one of the best RGB 5-stars in the game by far. So you really want to make sure you pull her. Like, I think she's on the level of Landy, might even be... Yeah, I'd say she's on the same level of Landy as Must Pull, and she's limited, so she only comes around once a year. So if you miss her, it's gonna be a bad time for a year if you want to play PvP seriously, because she's pretty highly contested still. Not as much as before, but she's still a very powerful unit. Very good in cleave, like I said, and just basically everywhere in PvP, and very good in PvE as well. So I really, really recommend. Now, I'm not saying to skip Violet, because Violet is a good unit, right? Everyone knows Violet is really annoying if you play PvP somewhat. I'm not saying to skip him and save all your bookmarks because the timing of the release is not known. But if you are worried that you won't have enough for Cerise, you might want to skip because Violet technically isn't limited and Cerise is. And Cerise is such a must pull that it's really hard to say that you can, you know, skip on her and be okay, because sure, you might not have to use her, but she's just so good in like expeditions and she's so good in PvP. You really want to have her built on your team because she's just so strong. Now, that's pretty much it for Cerise. Make sure you guys are ready for her banner to come out. We don't really have a timeline, but I guess like the end of January or early February. I think she's going to come out either with DN or a little bit after DN. because Diona technically is supposed to come a little bit before her, and Diona is a little bit late on her banner release. So yeah, pretty much it for Cerise. Now let's talk about Diona. Now we have Diona, another ice unit, but she is a Soul Weaver. Going over her skills, her S3 is going to be an attack and crit resistance buff for 3 turns, and also CR pushes herself. Then her S2 is going to be a 1 debuff dispel with a barrier, and you usually run her on Rod, so both of these skills will heal. And then her S1 is just a CR push on herself. It actually is doubled when the caster is buffed, and she'll basically always be buffed, so you're going to be cycling super fast with her. She cycles super quickly, just cycles a lot of buffs on your team, and also has nice barrier and healing if you run her on Rod, which you pretty much will always run her on because otherwise her healing is non-existent. So yeah, very, very powerful unit. She used to be super OP in PvP back in the day when the meta was super slow, but now she's fallen off a bit, but that's not to say she's bad. The only thing is she gets hard countered by Landy because 1, she's an ice unit, right, and 2, she just has a lot of buffs, which is food for Landy. So you really want to be careful picking her nowadays, especially in World Arena, and especially on defense teams because people will just Landy auto you really easily. But besides that, she's a pretty solid pick. She does get countered by buff abusers like Landy, like I said, but in team comps where the enemy team doesn't have a lot of damage and doesn't have a Landy, she's going to be very, very good. She's going to get a lot of turn cycles off and just buff your team completely, make them take no damage, and the 3-turn attack buff is really nice. So very, very powerful in PvP still, although not as OP as before, and probably not as strong as Cerise in the current meta. In PvE, she is really good. I'd say she's pretty equal to Cerise. She's a very good all-around Soul Weaver if you have Rod, so you can use her in place of a Momo in like some raid if you have, in some raid bosses if you have Tamron with her, and then she'll have more attack buffs for your team, so it'll make the runs faster. She's good in Fire Expedition. She's good in Wyvern as well as a tank if you want your runs a little bit faster. She's good in Banshee one-shot because, like I said, she has a 3-turn attack buff, so if you're running Biking with her or another 2-turn one-shotter with her, you'll get full benefit out of all the attack buff. And she's just good overall in like Dark Expedition as well. You can use her in Abyss, so just a good overall Soul Weaver because, you know, any Soul Weaver with an attack buff that can cycle quickly with a Dispel, or not Dispel, yeah, Dispel is going to be very, very strong. So you're going to really want to prioritize her as well. I personally think Cerise is a bit higher on the priority list than Diona, but Diona is still a very solid unit. You still want to pick her up because whenever the meta becomes very slow in PvP, if you guys are very worried about PvP, Diona becomes very strong in slow metas because, like I said, she has a lot of utility and a lot of support. But in kind of like faster metas, she's pretty bad, which is kind of why she's not as good at the moment. And also, there's a lot of green units that are very strong. But yeah, I think Cerise, you want to definitely make sure you have bookmarks for her. I think Diona's banner will come before Cerise, in my opinion, probably in the next like 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks. So you want to be prepared because I do think Diona is a very solid Soul Weaver. She's going to be a really good pick for newer players trying to get into PvP because she's just a very good all-around Soul Weaver in PvP. Also in PvE, like I said, she's very, very strong. So both of these units, right, they're going to be coming out very soon, in the next month, I'd say, or maybe like month and a half. And they're gonna, what Smilegate does, you guys probably already know by now, but when limited banners come out and collab banners are expected to come out, they will bait you with really good banners. So I expect to see like Cerise and Diona's banner not be announced, and then they're gonna announce like Violet, you know, Tamron, Sigrid, everyone's gonna pull, or like Rowana, Lilius, like really good like RGB 5-star units, and then they'll hit you with the, oh, we're releasing Diona and Cerise in the next 2 weeks. So don't be taken by surprise, guys. This is what Smilegate does always. And after their banners run, they're gonna release like even better, like not even better, but also good units as well, like Asaria and stuff like that. So don't be surprised if that happens. That's what Smilegate does. That's how they make money. So you just have to be prepared. And I'm just making this video to warn you guys out there because these limited units are very strong. And yes, Violet is very strong, but Violet, to be honest, is skippable. I'm not gonna say that in next week's video because he's very OP, right? But in the big, like the large scheme of things, Violet is only used for PvP really, so where Cerise and Diona are very good in PvE and PvP. Now obviously Violet is better in PvP, but as a mid-game, early game player, do you really need a strong PvP option right now? Probably not, but as a late game player, maybe you want to pick up Violet. So yeah, there's no real right answer. It's just something to consider, and I just wanted to warn you guys about the future because Smilegate does this thing, and every gacha game will do it as well. Now I hope this video helped you guys out and prepared you for the future. And if this video helped you out, as always, make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.